depression age. As I approach the mic, I'm looking through my shades. Back then, it was peak coats for the winners. Now it's trench coats with fringes. Tell me who sent you. Cut through flesh and bones with just Bible scripture. The white man's got the devil, do you need a picture? Truth in my veins, as I slide on my shades. War scar, shoulda David hanging from my chain. The world say we strange. Teach you how to change. One West, waking brothers up from the grave. Truth in my veins, as I slide on my shades. War scar, shoulda David hanging from my chain. The world say we strange. Teach you how to change. One West, waking brothers up from the grave. Hey, remember this, man. One West, one West, one West. Hey, remember this, man. One West, one West, one West. Hey. Under Commander Junior High, you understand? We ought to bring nothing but the truth. All you perpetrators out there, man, be ready to be destroyed out there, man. We out here standing for our people. One West, man, 1969. Isupkbmore. No cowards, no excuses.
There's nothing I can say to make you believe. Yeah. Man, ain't nothing I can say. There's nothing I can say to make you believe. To make you believe. But if I told you that I was the son of God, would that be easy to believe? Or would you make it hard? And I finally learned the difference between wise and smart. When I say we bless people, they say times is hard. And all I can tell them is they ain't never lied. Reincarnated, I'm back like I ain't never died. Man, I won't say it if it can't be verified. Niggas say they soldiers, when war starts, they terrified. I'm about to let it ride, bring it back to pride of black skin, cause they ain't got a clue what's happening. And we still being punished from back then. How we gon' make a change when we too busy adapting? Buckle your seatbelts, make sure you strapped in. They showed us the trap, so now my people trapped in. Cause everything we wanted to be, they said we couldn't be it. I told them we was chosen people, they just couldn't see it. Yeah. Yeah. And it ain't nothing I can say. There's nothing I can say to make you believe. To make you believe. Keep hearing footsteps in the dark, and my dogs gon' bite while the rest of y'all barking. Moving at the speed of light while y'all parking in that water with sharks. I ain't scared, I'm a dolphin. It ain't no talking, boy, we all action. Trying to build a nation, but them hoes is distracting. With that twerking on the pole in the back bins. Put on some clothes, set some goals, we can rap then. And we ain't never been the same since the crack came. Selling poison just to give it to the Jack name. They promote the lifestyle through the rap game. Flood the hood, we didn't tell you it's a black thing. They really need God, but they call idols. How these just 14 with assault rifles? They waiting for better days. Now can I paraphrase? Niggas will kill their own brother for a pair of J's. And it ain't nothing I can say. There's nothing I can say to make you believe. To make you believe. Let me say it anyway.
Hey, somebody, you might put on this TV right now. I see it too.
War going on outside, you in the crib with the war outside. I get it on outside, from the dust to the dawn outside. So when I'm going outside, I'm catching crack when they drawing outside. This is a war outside, my sword drawn outside. It's caliber, you better be get it on outside. You in the crib, but the boy outside. I get it on outside. That's a definite cannonball, breaking shit. Excellent, rhyme rockin', bomb like the president. I remain strong, King Kong with the prevalence. I show you exactly what we do. That's how I represent. Hardcore, heaven sent, chain on, hella bent, throwing all black when they spot me like the leopard print. Oh, I got the braids in, shades on, made men. Putting work inside the earth until they cave in. Walk strong, talk heavy, hold my own. You rock silent, or we bout to leave the sword, the stone. Nigga, we warriors, hardcore, track the pride. The letter Hebrew speak, nigga, general eyes. And we talk super heavy, nigga, that's a surprise. With all scripture, street talk, working captain in the car. Nigga, we blazing, ripping the mic with all facts, doing the knowledge to the max. Till we cracking the pavement. UPK, got the one West Harlem, nigga. We spring forward and they falling like it's hard, nigga. Talking to all the niggas born in the mud. And born in blood and this shit cold and I'm love and that's real. Oh, I get it, cat tired, or they not of our kind. I get the order that is hand with kind, out of one kind. Without a doubt in my mind, I'm finna stop and recline. Anybody that come against the nation probably resign. It's a war going on outside, who made it safe from? I hate these niggas throwing shots, but can they take some? Christ says, sell out your garments to get a sword now. I'ma go and sell out my poles to get a fall down. Game switch.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. We are the Isupkbmore, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming straight out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under command of General Yohana, and it's sad that we've been bringing this truth out since 1969, that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. We the true children of the Lord, you understand? Like the true children of the book. And this is the scripture breakdown class here in Baltimore, you feel me? We're going to be getting into heaven and hell tonight, you understand? Like, you know, the term heaven and hell, we want to find out, you know, what our perception is today. We want to find out where that came from. And then we want to see what heaven and hell is according to these scriptures, man. Because we've been lied to as a people. You know, we've been lied to as a people from our so-called leaders, these so-called Christian pastors and whatnot. And the thing is leading us down a dark rabbit hole that we're not going to be able to get out of, you understand? Because we've been taught that if we be good people, you know, and we listen to our master, that we're going to go to heaven and we're going to serve under a white, we're going to serve under another so-called white man, you know, who they, you know, define as Jesus Christ. You understand? Like, so here in this earth, we've been taught to serve the so-called white man, our oppressor, the colonizer, the same one that's been murdering us and abusing us. You understand? With the hopes of being good, so that when we die, we can go up to heaven and serve another so-called white man. You see what I'm saying? And if we're not obedient to our so-called oppressor, you know, they got this term called hell, in which we're supposed to go into the fiery depths of the earth. You know, we got a devil with a pitchfork, and, you know, we're going to be tormented day and night, and things of that nature, you feel me? And we're going to be living amongst demons. You know, this is the concept that we grew up under. You know, this is what we've been taught. So therefore, this is actually fundamental in why we serve our oppressor. We serve our oppressor. This is one of the reasons why, because we all wanna taste heaven, so to speak. You understand? We all want to taste heaven, but if we taught that we got to serve the man that's above us, this oppressor, and that's the only way that we want to obtain that, this is why we can never join together hand in hand. Understand? Like we won't join together hand in hand, because we know if we join together hand in hand, we want to eliminate our oppressor. And the way it's been taught, he's our only conduit or catalyst to the Most High. But we're going to find out that is a lie. We're going to find out that the Christian church is lying to us, these Christian pastors is lying to us, and we're going to find out the real story behind heaven and hell according to these scriptures, man. If I could, we're gonna start off. We want to delve into the history of why we look at heaven and hell the way we look at it in today's time. You know, we want to go into this. We want to go into this summary or this story Dante's Inferno. You understand? I know a lot of people may have heard of Dante's Inferno, but we never really understood or never really knew what it really meant or how it impacted the psychology behind what we do to this day. But we want to find out with Dante's Inferno how that story resonates right now in the Christian church, and it permeates everything that we do and how we think and how we move in this society. You understand? So if I could, we want to get into Dante's Inferno. Come.
Dante's Inferno summary. Dante's Inferno, widely held as one of the great classics of Western literature, details Dante's journey through the 9 circles of hell. The voyage begins during Easter week in the year 1300. The descent through hell starting on Good Friday after meeting his guide, the eminent Roman poet Virgil, in a mystical dark wood. The two poets begin their descent through a baleful world of doleful shades, horrifying tortures, and unending lamentation.
This is how it started off. You know, it's talking about 9 circles. It's almost like 9 levels of hell, is what he's explaining. You understand? That him and his partner, they supposed to be going through. Almost saying like, you know, when you die, it's levels to your death almost, you know? It's level to the hell that you're going to experience. You understand? This is what we're going to read this, but we're also going to see the influence that this has on Christianity, and we want to see the influence that it has on the mind and the psyche of the black man, you understand? And why we serve our oppressor the way we serve them. We just want to
Dante's Inferno influence on Christianity. Dante took the Greco-Roman myth surrounding death and punishment and synthesized it with the Christian imagination of the lake of fire and the idea of the infernus.
He synthesized this idea, you understand? Like the whole concept of the lake of fire and hellfire and what's going to happen when we die. He synthesized this, meaning he made up, like he fabricated something or he added yeast to it. Just like a Hollywood play. You understand? When they take a thing and then they pretty much expand on it by using their own imagination. You understand? But we want to see that his imagination, what he thought of it, is what's influencing Christianity and how we view heaven and hell still to this day.
So when we think of hell as a place of specific torment and fire, that's Dante. Dante created a new imaginative hell, where the severity of sin is divided upon layers. Dante expressed this layering with 9 circles. Sins of incontinence, lust, gluttony, resides in the upper layers, while sins of violence went to the lower hell.
Dante is saying that, listen, there's levels to this hell that we're going to experience when we die, according to how we lived our life. So if you look at violence, if you look at gluttony, if you look at, if you look at some of the more violent sins and whatnot, you understand? We're going to experience a deeper hell, a harder hell. You know, but if you do some of the small things, such as like telling white lies and things of that nature, it's a different level of sin that you want to, a different level of hell that you're going to experience as opposed to the violent ones. Like we want to see how this influences the Christian mindset. We want to see how this influences, our so-called leaders. And we still think that nonviolent. We still think that speech by Martin Luther King was of God, right? We want to see how even that speech that Martin Luther King gave, the whole concept of Christianity, black Christianity, might add you, because the so-called white man don't believe in this form of Christianity. This is the black version of Christianity right here. We got to be nonviolent, don't have a spine, don't have a backbone, and never ever question our oppressor. You understand? We want to get some more of this.
Yeah. Webster's dictionary definition of hell: a netherworld in which the dead continue to exist, Hades, the nether realm of the devil and the demons in which the damned suffer, everlasting punishment, often used in curses, go to hell, a place of or state of misery, torment, or wickedness.
This is the Webster Dictionary of hell, the definition of hell. You understand? Hades. You understand? Like a place where the devil and his demons reside. A place where you get cursed to for not being righteous or not being holy. You understand? It's a mind where when someone tell you go to hell. You understand? We want to understand that this permeates right now, and I'm going to keep saying it. This influences how we look at Christianity. Because Lord forbid we come together and we rise up and we start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, and we separate from our oppressor. By us separating from our oppressor, they'll tell us, listen, we gonna go to hell. You know why? Because you're not being a righteous person because you're not following your master. Like, this is how the so-called white man has deceived us for so many years. That's why we forgive him at the drop of a dime. Like, we want to understand that police Amber Geiger, you understand, they walked into their brother's house and she murdered him while he was eating ice cream on his couch in his own home. We want to understand that while when she was convicted of that murder, the bailiff stroked her hair, took a brush and brushed her hair, hugged her and made it so gentle for her. We want to see how this version of hell and heaven that Dante created or envisioned, how it affects the mindset of black people still to this day.
Hell in the Bible, Matthew 10:28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both the soul and body in hell.
Listen, Most High just told us to say, don't fear him that can kill the body. Don't fear him that just can kill the body, you understand? Like, don't fear man. Don't fear this oppressor that we are, you understand? Like, this oppressor, at the very most that he can do is he can kill the body, you understand? But it say, he's not able to kill the soul. It say, but fear him that is able to destroy both the soul and the body in hell, you understand? Come. Like, when we look at this scripture, like, is the Most High going to destroy the body and the soul? If he destroys the soul in hell, is the body destroyed in hell? Or is the body destroyed on earth? Like, when we die, are we dying, in Dante's version of hell? Are we dying in that inferno? And what level are we dying? You understand? Like, is it according to Dante, the sins that we commit or the crimes that we commit determines the level of our hell that we're in. So which round are we on? You understand? So like when the body is killed, when the body is killed on earth, man. You can actually have a funeral with the body of a loved one, you understand? Because it's dead on earth. It say to fear him which is able to destroy both the soul and body in hell. You understand? This is who we gotta fear. We gotta fear the Most High, not our oppressor. You understand? Like we gonna delve into these scriptures because we want to see the vast contrast in Dante's version of heaven and hell, and we want to see the difference in what the Most High considers heaven and hell, and what we gotta do.
Ecclesiastes 3:16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, and iniquity was there.
They say, moreover, I saw under the sun. This earth is under the sun, am I correct? Right now, the earth is under the sun. And the Most High said, moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. You understand? Because we just read in Dante's Inferno that we get judged in hellfire, or we get judged in the nine levels of hell according to our crime or our sin. Right here, the Most High is telling us that we get judged under the sun. It said that wickedness was there in the place of righteousness. Right there, if we are getting judged under the sun, if this is supposed to be hell according to Dante's Inferno, what the hell are the righteous doing there? Why are the righteous being judged there? You understand? The righteous should be being judged in heaven, am I correct? The Most High is letting us know that here on earth is where the wicked and the righteous get judged together under the sun, here on earth. You understand? Like this is extremely different from the version of Dante that Dante just gave us. Dante says 9 levels that you got to get judged, right? You know, the violent ones, you got a different type of hell. The small things, you got a mediocre hell. The Most High said, now I'm judging the wicked and the righteous under the sun right now. So the wicked and the righteous right now are being judged under the sun together. You understand? Here on earth, not under the ground in some kind of abyss where Satan and his goons lie. You understand? It's all mythical. It's all mythical. Just like we watch Greek mythology. This is how we get into Greek mythology and Zeus. Like we just defined what hell was. It said Hades. Hades is a character in Greek mythology. You understand? This is all a part of the so-called white man's imagination of what he thinks hell is. You know why? Because he's never experienced it. He's not in hell, so he can only imagine what it's like. He can only fathom what it's like. But as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we realize we ain't got to die to experience hell. You understand? Like we ain't got to die to realize this place that I'm in is not a righteous place. You understand? It's a low place, a dark place. You understand? Like right now, you can't tell one of our brothers and sisters that's still on that border that they're not living in a hell. You can't tell a black man and a black woman that they're not living in hell. If you go to any major black city in this earth, you'll see the vast contrast in every city. You'll see the so-called white man who's living in hell, his paradise. You understand? He's living in his paradise right now. You go and you watch him, and he's got businesses in which he's eating outside. You know, he's going into the ocean, he's getting every animal he can find and calling it a delicacy. He's eating on anything he wants. He answers to no one. You see what I'm saying? Like the so-called white man, this oppressor, he creates the rules in his earth, but he don't have to follow them. You see what I'm saying? He's in his heaven right now. He's not in hell. So this is why they use their imagination to come up with something. The same way we use our imagination to come up with heaven. The black man and the black woman, though, there is a hell that we're living here on this earth. You understand? Unfortunately, you have so many of us that's been hurt, that's been abused. Right now, there's a child being abused in one of these Christian churches, in one of these Muslim mosques. You know, it's a child being abused by, you know, your parent or whatever you have it. You understand? You can't tell that child is not living in hell. You understand? Like, this is what we go through here on earth. Like, we can't imagine the concept of heaven according to the scriptures. But damn sure can fathom the concept of hell. This so-called white man, he's the exact opposite. He can imagine heaven because he's living. But he cannot imagine hell. This is why he got to come up with this. He got to come up with this mythical story, in which is like some kind of punishment for those who do not follow and do what he tells them to do. And this is the whole story of Dante's Inferno. We keep going this truth about the show.
Ecclesiastes 3 verse 17, I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there for every purpose and for every work.
It's the Most High shall judge the righteous and the wicked, you understand? But there's a time there for every purpose and for every work. You understand? The Most High is judging the righteous and the wicked as we speak. Like, what we do in this earth right now matters to the Lord. What we're doing in our lives right now, we're being judged by according to the Most High right now. We don't have to die to get judged. You understand? Like, we don't have to die to experience hell, to experience torment. Like, we can experience that right here on earth. You ever wonder why the black man is number one in every negative statistic? When it comes to disease, when it comes to poverty, when it comes to, you know, finances, the black man is last in every statistical category when it comes to something negative. You understand? Because we're living out of hell. Go ahead, sir.
Deuteronomy 32 and 22. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains.
It is. Fire is kindled in the Most High's anger, you understand? And shall burn to the lowest hell. That lowest hell, what is it? Is that lowest hell under the ground in one of the 9 realms that Dante's Inferno speaks of? Nah, the Most High just said on earth. You understand? That hell is actually the low state or the dark places that the black man and the black woman that we're in. You understand? If you see it on video, we'll see conditions of hell right here. Like, this is normal to a black man and a black woman. They can see this online, right, sir? Like, this is the conditions that this is normal to us. Like, what we're seeing right now, this is normal to the black man and the black woman, to the Hispanic man and Hispanic woman, the Native man and Native woman, you understand? This is hell right here. Poverty. Trash all over the place, you understand? Rodents running and you know, taking over our place. Police brutality, you understand? Like, the same man that oppressed us, the same man that seeks to destroy us, is the same man that's ruling over us, and he's our judge. You understand? He do whatever he wants to do for us. This is hell. You understand? Like, if we can't understand that, understand it from this perspective. The Jewish man who went through the Holocaust, imagine him living in Germany right now, under German rule, after what the Germans did to him. You understand? And them Germans putting drugs and putting all types of vices in his community. And them Germans policing his community. We would all understand that that's a hell to that Jewish man, you understand? We understand the hell that other nations can go through when we speak on what they've been through. But when it comes to us, we're so used to going through hell that we don't even see it when we're going through it. Like, this is absolute torture and torment to have to be judged by the same man that put us in the conditions that we're in. You understand? How do you tell a victim that the person who hurt them is the same person that got to judge them. You understand? That is hell. You understand? Being slammed on top of cars, having guns pulled on us. You understand? Like, by the same man, and I want to keep reiterating this, by the same man that put us in these conditions. The same man that killed us, the same man that put us into slavery. This is the lowest hell. The Most High said He's going to judge even down to the lowest hell. You understand? This is why we're in the prisons. This is why we go through so many things that we're going through, because the Most High is judging us. You understand? This is hell for the black man. Right now, we're living in our hell right now. We're being judged according to the Most High. And we're being judged according to how we serve Him, man. The black man and black woman, and when I say black, I'm speaking of Hispanic Native Americans. This is that, put that disclaimer out there. You understand? The black man and black woman, we have a duty to serve the Lord. We have a duty to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. And when we don't do them, the Most High, He will judge us, even in our lowest state. You understand? That's the hell that we're speaking of. That's the hell that the Most High just described here in the scripture, man. You understand? Look at the incarceration. Look at the U.S. incarceration rate by race. You understand? Like, it's ridiculous, man.
U.S. incarceration rate by race. Data source. Statistics as of June 30th, 2010 and November and December 31st, 2010. Correctional population in the United States and from the U.S. Census summary.
Listen, this is the rates in which we're being incarcerated, you know. And this was back in 2010. We're in 2021 right now. That bar graph that we're seeing on the screen, I'm quite sure there's a bigger gap between us and the other races now. You understand? Because you got to remember, we're one family. So you look at blacks, Hispanics, and Native, and the incarceration rate of us, like that bar graph that we're seeing right now, it's the gap or the range in between the two is probably twice or double or triple that size right now here in 2021. You understand? You know, we're going to see, we're seeing what hell is to the black man. We're seeing what hell looks like on earth. You understand? We just read in the scripture that God is judging the righteous and wicked under the sun right now as we speak. You understand? And now we're seeing the symptoms of living in hell. You understand? The unemployment rates. You understand? You know, the different vices that's been put in our communities and how we suffer. You understand? Like, this is hell that like the fact that we got to get up every single morning and go to work in a society in which we live. That is hell, man. Like, we don't even realize the type of hell that we're in because we're so used to it. We think about getting a so-called good job that pays us a couple of dollars. We think we're blessed. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have a job or nothing like that, but a job is not the end-all be-all for a black man and black woman, especially when we built this nation, you understand? Like, we're supposed to be the ones putting people to work. Instead, these other nations are putting us to work. And guess what? They're the ones that's benefiting, and they're the ones that's prospering off of our labor still to this day. That's why we consider everything that we do, even if it's every job that we have in this kingdom, is a slavery to a black man and a black woman. I don't care how much you pay you. I don't care what kind of vacation time, health benefits you got. It is an absolute slavery. You understand? Because we're still following, we still got to work under this oppressive.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm gonna put up these unemployment rates by race, so that we understand. And our problem ain't even unemployment, because they've taken all of our businesses and they taken black innovation and they were able to profit off of it. Look,
Right.
300 years they have stolen of our labor.
Right.
You can't steal. That's taking far too much from our people.
Right.
No people should have that much taken from them. 300 plus years of labor taken from our people, and along with that, our social cohesiveness, our goddamn identity. Look, they opened up prisons in places that previously had industries like gold mines, coal mines, things like that. So now they open up these prisons, and young black men are now financing the entire county,
Right.
the entire town, because that's the only real way to generate money at that time, and that was supposed to be a situation of employment, but it became a justice situation where black men being locked up was the solution. Now you have all of these prisons and jails in these affluent suburbs that are financing the life of black people in those towns.
Right.
Because there is federal monies being put to where these people are housed. You have privatized prisons where you're still leasing out black bodies to private companies to generate funds. That's still slavery.
Right.
How the hell we celebrating Juneteenth when we still enslaved, when we still in hell? That is a hell. Hell is when you rule nothing,
Right.
when you have no say over your life or your death, when you have no say over how your children live and how they die, when you don't even have the ability to teach your own children the things that they need to know. They won't even teach critical race theory in our school because they
Right.
don't want to feel uncomfortable with the evil that they've done. So how in the hell can America be the great and the beautiful and the land of the free when we ain't even free in 2021? How in the hell can this be a good place when we're here still in hell because we're not able to make decisions over the most basic, the most goddamn down to basic influence over our lives?
Right.
And that's to influence our children.
Right.
Their propaganda is more important than our children. Whenever you accept the lies of another people as truth, then your truth becomes a lie. It's a lie.
No, that was heavy what you were just saying, like it's so heavy, but the thing is, we don't understand that. We don't understand that as a people because we're so accustomed to it. Like when I always bring that the fake Jew up that's over in Baltimore in Park Heights right now, or over in Israel, because when they said when he came through the so-called Holocaust, right? What's the first thing they gave them? The first thing that they gave them was their own land. They gave them their own land and said, listen, you need to create your own rules and live by your own laws, and pretty much you take care of your people, you understand? And we're going to give you to the tune of $3 to $5 billion a year to fund your military, that way you can protect yourself, fund your economy, that way you have businesses and stuff like that you own. That's true freedom. You understand? That's living in heaven. Like, that's living in heaven when you can do what you want to do, and you can raise your children the way you want to raise them according to your laws, according to what you think is right. You understand? As a black man, we can't do that. You understand? As a Hispanic and Native, we can't do that. we got to send our children to the same schools that teaches our children that they're beneath their counterparts. Why can't we teach critical race theory? Why can't we teach that there's laws that's being passed to still oppress the so-called black man and Hispanic man? Why can't we teach that if it's the truth? You understand? The so-called white man who's living in his heaven, he considers that to be racism. He said, man, that's a racist philosophy for you to teach that. Look at all the gains that you've made. But still in their constitution, the 13th Amendment says that you are a slave if you go to prison. We're still a slave on record if we go to prison, you understand? Like, we're slaves, don't get it twisted. We're still slaves even if we don't go to prison. Because like Isupkbmore was bringing out, we don't own nothing. We don't rule nothing. We don't have the business. We don't have the authority to judge the rest of the earth. You understand? That's the position that a black man should be in. And the fact that we're not in that is we're living in a hell, man. We're living in our hell right now because what the Most High intended for the black, Hispanic, and Native American man, we're not living in that right now. You understand? There's no way that our oppressors should be above us. These prisons that he's created and the laws that he's created to keep us in prison is proof that we're still slaves, man. It's proof that we're still slaves. There's nowhere in the world that you can build privatized prisons and pass laws that directly affect blacks, Hispanics, and natives. And they handed out football numbers, you understand? Like, it was a judge in Baltimore City, when he used to eat time, he used to throw a tennis ball at you. And how many times that tennis ball bounces, how many years you had? You understand? He'd bounce that tennis ball, and he wouldn't give you a good bounce, he'd throw it low. You see what I'm saying? He's living in his heaven. He gets to judge. He gets to judge blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans without a conscience. You do whatever the hell you want to this people. But when he's in his heaven, he can do that. This place that we call America is hell for the black, Hispanic, and Native American man. We don't need to go into the pits under the ground to experience torment, man. You understand? Like Dante's Inferno, he spoke of being tormented in some kind of dark place, you understand? Dante's Inferno was being lived out here on earth for every black, Hispanic, and Native American man, you understand? We're going to show you this video. I'm going to show you this video. I think the woman in the video was a Hamite woman, but nevertheless, to this so-called white woman, this Karen, you understand, she was seeing a black woman, you understand? We want to see a video of how a so-called white woman in her heaven, she can lay on the floor, do temper tantrums, she can lie, she can do all these things, you understand? And there will be no repercussion from it. And we want to see how they deal with us. No. If we deal with them the same way, we put under the prison, you understand? Because they're in their hell, they can judge each other. We can't judge them, they can judge each other though. And when they judge each other, that's when you see an Amber situation where she gets, 10 years for murdering in cold blood a brother? And she's probably out of prison right now too. What's his name? And she's working on it. And I mean, she's right now, in her prison is a little resort that she's on, you understand? She ain't in population with the rest of the so-called criminals. You understand? She's living a plush life right now. What's that police that killed George Floyd? Derek Chauvin. You understand? Like, he's appealing right now. He's appealing right now. You think it's just no reason they gave us Juneteenth, right? You think it's for no reason that they gave us a little gift, right? Don't be surprised when they let him out and he win his appeal. The judge wouldn't even judge him to the point where he wouldn't give him the maximum penalty for what he did. You could put your knee on a brother's neck for 8 minutes, for 10 minutes, and watch that brother die. and don't receive the maximum penalty for what you did. That's heaven, man. That's heaven. Because Lord knows if the roles would have been reversed, this so-called black man that he's been facing the death penalty. He didn't even get the maximum of what he could have got. And he's appealing right now to show you how evil and wicked this society is, man. We're going to watch this video and see how a so-called white woman in her heaven, let's see how she acts when she don't want to be around a black person, you understand?
Oh, no, it's you. Now you are. Oh my God! Oh my God! Do you see this? Oh my God! I never thought nothing like this would happen to me. She just tried to run it.
Oh, the temper tantrum like a damn child.
And now she. Did you see her? You saw her, right? They all saw her. Oh my God! Karen had a breakdown. She tried to hit me. Ask your workers. She tried to hit me. She tried to hit me. Now I want security for you. Oh my God. You should have thought about that before you did what you did.
I just want us to see with the so-called white woman in her heaven, the type of behavior she's going to portray, you understand? Like, this is piss poor behavior for anyone, you understand? We're going to see how, when you're in your heaven, you can do whatever the hell you want to do, you understand? You won't be judged for it. You won't be looked down upon. Your whole race of people won't be judged by your actions, you understand? That's how you know you're in heaven. You understand? When you in hell, this was a black woman. This black woman would represent every black woman in this nation. Every black woman would be viewed according to how this woman acted. You understand? But let's see what she did.
Oh no, it's you. Now you are. Oh my God! Oh my God! Do you see this? Oh my God! I never thought nothing like this would happen to me. She just tried to run and hit me. And now
She's suing her for her own protection.
You saw her, right? They all saw her. Oh my God! Karen had a breakdown. She tried to hit me. Ask your workers. She tried to hit me. She tried to hit me. Now I want security for you. Oh my God. You should have thought about that before you did what you did. Oh my God. This don't even feel real. This do not feel real. Y'all gotta get security. She charged me. I wouldn't have done. She would. Oh no, you just want security for me, right? I want security for you now. No, don't cry. No. I want you to call security. I think. I just came to get my free penny. You might get the coupon in the mail. And I gotta pick up my Converse boots from Nordstrom. I don't know why this is happening to me. Don't charge me. Oh, you wanna? Yeah, she. I'm scared to even approach her.
It's
Scaring me.
You gotta go to the point where she wilding out right before she get back up. I think she was stretched out on the floor almost. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't feel that bad. Ooh. filed a price check for one of them. This one I have.
The black one is going to get it sorted out.
Yeah, I'm
What about
gonna
security?
actually, you know, I have a coupon for the free candy.
This, I think this, when we record this handwriting, because of the test, this so-called white woman is seen as a black woman. And what she didn't realize, by her recording this could have saved her life right here. You understand? Because all it takes is, like, that's the same spirit that got Emmett Till murdered. You understand? This is the same spirit that sparked what happened in Black Wall Street. You understand? This is the same spirit that get a black man shot dead in the streets. You understand? And this would be the same spirit that would get this black woman killed if she don't record it. Like, this recording will save this woman's life. Because if you're looking at a devil that's on the floor acting like that, for surely her countrymen or her nation of people are going to side with her. Because they're in their habit. They can do that because they want to. You see what I'm saying? She's crying, you know, she comes off as she's being the one hurt and abused. But all in all, she's been a devil. She's the one that's causing the pain, the conflict. You understand? And this is the spirit of what a black man and black woman got to endure here in this nation. This is why we live in hell right now. Hell don't have to be in a secret chamber under the earth. You understand? Hell is right here on this earth right now. You understand? If I could, let me get we're gonna get a little bit into let me get Matthew 6 and 10, bro. Sure. We're gonna get into what heaven is, and we want to see what our heaven is going to look like. And it's going to look like this.
The book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 10. Thy heaven come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
This is what it is to a black man. They say, thy kingdom come. When the Lord's kingdom come, you understand? When Yahweh's kingdom come down here, when Yahweh Shah comes down here, you understand? They say, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. You understand? Like, what this is saying is the same order, the same rules and the law, statutes, and commandments that's being observed and followed. And the way it is in heaven is what's going to be done here on earth right here. You understand? We're not going to go and just dwell in the sky for the rest of eternity. You understand? The Most High is going to bring heaven, which is black rulership, under the black law. You understand? He's going to bring that here on earth, man. That's why I say in earth. That's why I say that will be done in earth as it is in heaven. There's order in heaven. Right now, there is no order on this earth. You understand? For the black, Hispanic, Native American man, there is no order in this earth. You know what I mean? We're oppressed in this earth. That's not the order that the Lord gave us. The Lord said this earth was made for our sake, but we are not ruling. The order is thrown off, you understand? But when the kingdom of the Lord comes, this is going to be the black man's heaven. We'll be put back into our seats of authority, and we'll judge the earth righteously. You understand? Let me get the scripture where it say, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. That's Job 9:24.
The book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the face of He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
It is the earth is given into the hand of the wicked right now. You understand? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. This is why it's there in heaven. You understand? Like if you look at all the Central and South and North America, there's one race of people ruling this nation, ruling these places. That's the so-called white man. And if you go over to what they say is Africa, the Middle East, China, all of those nations is being ran by a white man. You understand? That's why the United States have what they consider an embassy set up in every one of these nations. And from that embassy, the so-called white man is ruling these other nations as well. You understand? It said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. It said he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. What does that mean? What does that mean for the so-called white man to be covering the faces of the judges thereof? You understand? All it means is the men who are supposed to be judging this earth, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, he covered our faces. He covered our faces, you understand? And he puts in place his own. That's why when you look at when you see, you go to the Christian church, that's why you see a white Jesus Christ. That's why you see a white Jesus Christ, our King, the greatest black man that ever walked the face of this earth, you understand? The so-called white man turned him into a white boy. And effeminate one of that. With long, stringy hair, you understand? Blue eyes, soft as hell. You see what I'm saying? Who was all about love. He was a homosexual. You see what I'm saying? A pedophile. That's what they turned the greatest black man ever walked the earth into. You understand? They say he covered the faces of the judges thereof. You going over the show?
John. If not, where and who is he?
They say, if not, where and who is he? You understand? Where and who is he? You know, if he ain't did it, if he ain't covered the faces of the judges thereof, if he ain't do that, where's the judge at it, you know? You understand? Like this so-called white man, you understand? Like what he's done in this earth, he's only been able to do because he's living in his heaven. But like we just read in Matthew 10, where it said that, when the Lord's thy kingdom come, in the Lord's kingdom, he will not do that. He will be in the Lord's kingdom too. The so-called white man, we just gonna put it out there. He will be in the Lord's kingdom. You understand? Well, what role is he going to play in the Lord's kingdom, though? That's the important part. We're going to read Isaiah 14, 1 and 2, Brother Shaw. The so-called white man will be in the Lord's kingdom. You understand? But we got to see the role that he's going to play. This is the kingdom of the Lord, in which he said he's going to bring the heaven onto earth.
Like you said,
Isaiah 14 and 1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob.
For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob. Like this is the beginning of our heaven, you understand? This is the beginning of the black, Hispanic, and Native American man experiencing a small, experiencing heaven in the way in which it was intended for us to experience heaven. This is not us going up into the clouds and playing with those goddamn angels, naked babies, and all that nonsense, you feel me? This is what permeates our mind because of the Christian church. We go and we sit on the damn cloud and play a harp all day, you know, we serve a white man up in heaven. This is not that. This is the heaven that we're going to be under when Christ brings when the Most High brings his kingdom to this earth. Keep going, Brother Shaw.
And will yet choose Israel.
And will yet choose Israel, every black, Hispanic, and Native.
And set them in their own land.
And set them in their own land, you understand? We want to be set in our own land. You understand? You see how the so-called white man, you see what he did to his fellow kinsman, the Jewish man, the Amalekite. You see what he did? He set him in our land, right? He set him over the nation of Israel and parts of the Middle East. The so-called white man did that for his family. The Most High is going to set us in our land. You understand? This is the kingdom of God. You going to look at sir?
And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
They say, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. You understand? Like, these strangers, they're going to hold on to us. They're going to hold, hey, can we just be a part of y'all? Sure we can. Can we just rock with y'all, you know? We're willing to follow you. You know, we're willing to do what you tell us to do. Sure, you can come with us. You understand? They're going to cleave on to the house of Jacob when we get put into our land. You understand? People know, sure.
Isaiah 14 verse 2, and the people shall take them.
They say the people shall take them. If you take something, what does that mean? If you take something, when you take something, matter of fact, let's go a little further. Let the scripture explain.
And bring them to their place.
And bring them to their place.
And the house of Israel shall possess them.
The house of Israel shall possess them.
In the land of the Most High, for servants and handmaids.
Listen, this is the kingdom of heaven right here. This is the black man being in heaven. Them same strangers, the so-called white man, guess what? It said we're going to take them and bring them to our place. Bring them to our home that the Lord gave us. And they said we're going to take them, we shall possess them in the land for servants and handmaids. What does that mean? If you possess something, what does that mean? You own them. That's exactly what it means. Most High said you're going to possess them as servants and handmaids. Handmaids, which means you're going to own, like we'll own the so-called white man. He'll be our servants and handmaids. You know, sir?
And they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
This is heaven for the black man right here. We're going to take them captives, who captives we were, and we're going to rule over their oppressors. You understand? You keep going over the show.
And it shall come to pass in the day that the Most High shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
The Most High is going to give us rest from hell, man. The rest from our sorrow, you understand? Like, that's the hell that we're in. We're in sorrow right now. Every time we look up, every time we turn the news on, there's a killing. A black man is being murdered, you understand? You know, something's going wrong, some kind of law has been passed to oppress us, you understand? This is the sorrow, this is the hell that we're living in. The Most High said, I'm going to give you rest from that, man.
And from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve.
The Most High said, I'm going to give you relief, man. I'm going to give you relief from your fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, you understand? Waking up every morning at 5 in the morning to go into a slavery and be around the same people that you know killed your family, that oppress your family, you understand? To be put in a prison and forced to fight wildfires for $1 a week, you understand? To be put in prison and be made to build a Whole Foods, you understand? Like, this is the hard bondage that the Lord is going to give us rest from, you understand? And we only in those conditions because we're in hell right now. This is not a people that's in heaven. You understand? This is part of the judgment that we've been incurring. You understand? Because we've been led by the so-called white man through our so-called leaders, which is in these black Christian churches, Muslim mosques. They say we ain't got to keep no laws, statutes, and commandments. And because we're not keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, guess what? We fall right into these predicaments. The Most High said, I'm going to give you rest from all of that, man. The Most High, go ahead, sir.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon.
Listen, it says, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. When you hear Babylon in the scriptures, Babylon is synonymous with America. Whenever you hear Babylon, think America. Whenever you think Egypt, think America. You understand? That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, the king of America. You understand? You gonna know the show.
and say, how have the oppressors ceased? The golden city ceased.
He's going to say, how has the oppressor ceased? How has America ceased? You understand? This superpower that America is known as, it will be no more. You understand? The superpower will then become Israel. You understand? Under the authority of Yahushua himself, under the authority of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? This is real heaven. This is going to be our heaven. We're not going to be serving this hard bondage no more. We won't have the sorrow and fear no more. You understand? But guess what? We're going to own and possess the same one who owns us and possess us to this day. And guess what? The roles are going to be reversed then. The roles are going to be reversed then. He's going to experience a hard bondage. He's going to experience fear and sorrow continually. And it's only righteous. You understand? It's only righteous. You understand? He's experienced his heaven. He's did what he did in his heaven. And we've experienced our hell. You understand? This is what Isupkbmore was set up for, man. Isupkbmore was set up to show blacks and Hispanics and natives that there is a slice of heaven that we can have on this earth, man. Right now, to this day. That's why we tell our people, man, get in class, you understand? Like, join this brotherhood, man, and get involved. You understand? Like, get involved in changing your life to the point where as though serving the Most High becomes a joy. Keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments become a joy. Putting on your culture becomes a joy, you understand? Learning to speak the Hebrew becomes a joy to you, you understand? Seeing how you can help your brother, man, becomes a joy to you. Like, this is what heaven looks like to the black, Hispanic, and Native American, man. This is a small slice of heaven. This is why we need to get in class here in Isupkbmore.
Verse 5, the Most High had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the ruler.
They say the Most High has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, meaning he broke their power, you understand? The one thing that they take pride in is their military might. The Most High is going to break it. You understand? He's going to break their rule and the fear that they impart on blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He's going to destroy it all, man. Keep going.
Verse 6, he will smite the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and ruled and none hindereth.
Listen, he will smote the people and kill the people in wrath with a continual stroke. When he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. You understand? Like no one gives a damn about what he's going to go through, man. You understand? Like he ruled us with an anger that's unparalleled, you know? Like right now, blacks and Hispanics, we're in the worst conditions of all nations on the face of this earth. And he still puts his foot on our neck. You understand? Like he still got his foot on our neck. He rules us in anger, man. But he's going to be persecuted. He's going to be persecuted, and guess what? He's going to be judged. He on earth. He ain't got to go into he ain't got to go into this foreign place underneath the earth. You understand? And sit with Satan and his demons. You understand? I say, can Satan cast out Satan? He can't. You understand? The devil can't cast himself out. You understand? This so-called white man is going to be judged here on the earth. We read that in the scriptures already.
Isaiah 14 and verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
This is saying the whole earth is at rest. You understand? The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. When we're in our heaven, the whole earth will be at peace. The whole earth will be at peace when we're in our heaven. That's why I say when the wicked ruler, the earth mourns. It said, but when the righteous are in rule, the earth rejoices. You understand? When the black, Hispanic, and Native American man rule this earth, these other nations are going to rejoice too. They're going to be under our rule. We're going to tell them what they can and can't do and what they can and can't do it. And guess what? They'll be happy. They'll be happy to follow what the hell we tell them to do. You understand? And they better do it. They better do it. You understand? Unless they find out the real fury of the Most High. You understand? This so-called white man, he's going to experience hell, man. And guess what? He ain't going to have to die and go to no secret place that Dante Inferno spoke of. He ain't got to go to that place to experience it. You understand? Him and his children are going to experience it here on earth. You understand? The same way we experience this on earth, he's going to have to experience it as well. You understand? Let me get, drop down to verse 21 of the show. 14, come.
Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21, prepare slaughter for his children. Like verse 21, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers.
This is heaven to a black man, but because we can't fathom what heaven is, we'll look at this and say, I don't want no part of it. I don't want no part of it. This is the Lord's kingdom. This is the will of the Most High. You understand? In earth as it is in heaven. You understand? That scripture that we just read in Matthew 10 and 20, what was that? Matthew 6 and 10, where it said, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. The Christians love that prayer. They love saying that prayer, This is the Lord's prayer. This is the Lord's prayer right here. They say, thy will be done. This is the will of the Most High that we're reading. This is heaven for the black man that we're reading right now. It said, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, man. This is the will of the Most High. This is not our words. We can read this in the scripture right here. This is what we're doing. You understand? This is heaven for the black man. Keep going up, yourself.
Yeah.
It's like real quick. The Most High knows something that we still don't know. Like it's a reason he said prepare slaughter for the children, for the iniquity of their fathers. We ought to find out why.
That they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
It is. The Most High said, listen, I am going to prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise. Because you got to know we're dealing with the devil here. You understand? The devil just means deceiver. That devil was in them children as well, you understand? And as they grow, guess what? They'll be just as cunning of a devil as their fathers were, It said that they do not rise nor possess the land. They'll be so good at being the devil. They'll be 10 times better than their fathers. Because if you look at it right now, slavery is better today for the so-called white man than it was back in actual slavery. You understand? Their sons have grown up and they found ways to enslave blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans without blacks and Native Americans knowing that we're being enslaved. That's how crafty they are, you understand? Imagine what these little devils are going wrong with you. Understand? The Most High say that they do not possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities, you understand? If the Most High do not prepare slaughter for these devils, they're going to rise in this earth again, they're going to take our land again, and they're going to fill the face of the cities with their children, you understand? Didn't we just read how it say they cover up the faces of the judges thereof? They'll do it again. The Most High knows the spirit of this devil that he created, you understand? This is how crafty of a beast he is. And that's why the Most High is telling us this. This is heaven for a black man. This is the will of the Most High. This ain't my will. This ain't my will. You know, for every black man, you know, it's like if we could say, listen, we can come together with these other nations and we can build with them and we can be equal to them, we can do this, you feel me? If I could tell you that, we would tell you that, you understand? If the scripture told us to tell you that, we would tell you that, you understand? But guess what? We can't. Because the scripture does not speak like that, you understand? The scripture speak on us having complete authority over these other nations, you understand? And the so-called white man got a penalty to pay. He's got a hell that he's got to face, you understand? That's why he's going to come into the kingdom. That's why he has to possess it. Because the same way he experienced his heaven while we were in hell, it's only righteous that he experienced his hell while we were in heaven, man. Thus saith the Lord. Come.
In the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
This right here, like that scripture that we just said, that so they won't cover the city, the earth with their cities. If the Most High do not put their children to death and prepare slaughter for them, this is exactly what will happen again, man. In this earth. The so-called white man he got a penalty to pay, man. It's going to be his hell. It's going to be his torment. You understand? If I could, let me get Deuteronomy 32 and 22.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 22. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. I will heap mischief upon them. I will spread mine arrows upon them. They shall be burnt with hunger and devoured with burning heat and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them with the poison of serpents of the dust, the sword without and terror within. Shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also, with the man of gray hairs.
It is the Most High is talking about his anger being kindled, you understand? Even to the lowest hell, you understand? Like this is like we just read about. He just said the suckling, meaning like these are babies. These are little infants, you understand? The suckling also was the man of gray hairs. This means the young and the old, you understand? The Most High is going to kindle his anger to the lowest hell upon the young and the old. This ain't what Dante's Inferno was talking about. Come on. This ain't what Dante's Inferno was talking about. Dante's Inferno said, you know, there's different levels of this torment, you understand, according to the sin that you've had. What sin has this suckling had? What sin has this infant created? You understand? But instead, he still has to go through the kindled fire that the Lord has in the lowest hell, you feel me? From that suckling to the oldest man, you understand? Like, heaven and hell is not what we think it to be. Heaven and hell is not playing harps and playing flutes and being sitting on clouds and riding with naked babies in the air and all that nonsense, you feel me? That is not heaven. And hell is not underneath the earth in some kind of secret passageway when you got different realms, you got goons and goblins, you got a red demon with a pitchfork. That is not hell, man. But if you ask our children, that's what they'll say it is, right? That's the influence of the Christian church, man. That's the influence of the Roman Empire and their Greek gods, man. this is the influence of Dante's Inferno, and this is how it affects the black man, the black woman, the Hispanic man, the Hispanic woman, the Native man, the Native woman, you understand? These scriptures clearly describe heaven and hell as being conditions that people are in this earth, man. You can have heaven and hell in the same city. If you look at Baltimore, there's a heaven and there's a hell. You see what I'm saying? If you come to Lexington Market where we speak at, you'll see hell. You'll see the conditions of the black man, you understand? You'll see us in a condition where he's strung out on drugs, you understand? You know, we got our women prostituted. We got businesses all through and through Lexington Market, and ain't none of them owned by black people. You understand? This is the hell that we're living in. But if you go 5 minutes down the street, you got the Inner Harbor. That is a heaven that the so-called white man is living in. He has businesses, he has his water, he has his boats, and guess what? He owns all the shops there. You go 10 minutes down the street, you got what they call Little Italy. You have Little Italy. You think a black man only in business in Little Italy? Absolutely not. You understand? In Little Italy, Italians own the businesses in Little Italy. But in the hood, the Asian, the Arab, the East Indian, they own all the businesses in the hood. You understand? Heaven and hell are conditions on this earth, man. It is not no mystical place that people go to and things of that nature. Heaven or hell is conditions that we're living in right now and that we're being judged in right now. You understand? You want to read this, sir? Come. And this is like this mindset of what we've been taught of what Christian, what heaven and hell is the same reason that black men and women, we stay in the conditions we're in when we serve our oppressors, man. Like, as slaves, when we were in shackles back in the day, you understand, they taught us that if we went against our masters, we were being bad slaves, so to speak, and we would go to hell, and we would experience some kind of hellfire. But the lesson would be following our master's orders. So therefore, we can experience some kind of paradise when we die. You understand? So we got to go through hell here on earth, serve the same man that's oppressing and killing us and raping us, and then when we die, we still got to go be second-class citizens in heaven under another white man. Like, that's what we've been taught. That's what the Christian church teaches us. That's not what the Bible teaches us, man. The Bible teaches us, listen, we come back to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, and we put our spirit on, and we put our culture back on. Guess what? That heaven, the real heaven that we're going to experience, is being on top of these other nations, you understand? Ruling these other nations without, with Yahweh himself, under the authority of the Most High. We'll have all these nations under our rule, and they'll have to do what we say here on earth. We don't have to go far off. You understand? We don't have to imagine a Dante's Inferno. You understand? In order for our oppressor to see him in his hell. All we gotta do is keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, man, and come back and do what the Most High is telling us to do. You understand? And we'll experience that heaven, man. That's real heaven. A heaven in which a black man and a black woman can actually reside peacefully, you understand? That we ain't got to be at war with each other. That we ain't got to hurt each other and kill each other. We don't have to cut each other's throats for money. We don't have to rob each other, steal from each other, sell each other dope and coke. You understand? Like, this is real heaven for a black man. A heaven in which we don't have to take the wife of another brother, you understand? That's hell. That's heaven for a black man, man. And for that black woman. And guess what? We're going to experience that here on this earth, man. We want to experience that here on this earth. And for this so-called oppressor, listen, you living in your heaven now, you might as well go ahead and enjoy it. Go ahead and enjoy your heaven, You know, do everything you want to do. You know, eat all the delicacies you think you want to eat. You understand? Because in the Lord's kingdom, I say thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. You will not, I repeat, you will not live in heaven no more. You understand?
Right.
You will be in your health. And you're going to do what a black man tells you to do. And if you don't, what did Christ say himself? What did Christ, let's see what Christ said.
Verse 26.
Now, let me get the scripture real quick. I think it's Exodus 21:6. Where it say, they will not to serve me, bring them before my throne. Come.
Luke 19:27.
Come. We're gonna get this in the Bible, man. We're gonna show you what heaven looks like under the authority of a black man. We want to see what heaven looks like to a black man, you understand? What real rulership and authority looks like.
The book of Luke, chapter 19 and verse 27. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them.
Hey, I thought the Christian church said, the Lord, it's in Christ is all love. He ain't got no enemies, right? He all love. He's for everybody. These words are great. This is Christ speaking. He said, my enemies. I mean, the Lord, Christ is at odds with somebody. He said, my enemies, which not that I should reign over them. But that so-called white man or that Asian or that East Indian or Arab who say, you know what, I'm not following that black man. He's not going to tell me what to do. You know, I have rights. You understand? I'm going to stand up for my rights and I'm going to do what I want to do. He cannot tell me what to do. This is what Christ said.
But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
Hey, these are Christ's words right here. These came directly from Christ. They ain't real, man. Christ said, my enemies, which not that I would reign over them, bring them hither and slay them. You understand? This is heaven for a black man and a black woman. You understand? This is complete authority over these enemies that we have on the face of this earth. If you don't want to serve a black man, guess what? Your punishment will be death. Simple as that. These are not our words. These are words according to the scriptures. These are Christ's words in particular. You understand? It's written in red, man. Luke 19:27. You understand? So we gotta get this concept of heaven and hell that we've learned from the time we was a youth. You understand? We gotta wash that out of our mind, man. We gotta wash that away, and we gotta realize that heaven and hell are conditions that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are in right now. As the white man is in his heaven, we're in our hell. We're on the same earth together, you understand? The conditions they're in and the conditions we're in are completely different. But if we want that to change, we've got to start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. And the Lord will bring his kingdom, the Most High will bring his kingdom back to this earth, man, and his will be done, you understand? The black man will be in his heaven. that, I want to say we at the Isupkbmore Israelite School University of Knowledge, coming straight out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under the command of General Yohana. Just want to say Isupkbmore, Shalom Israel, you understand? And at this time, you know, we gonna call upon precinct officer Isupkbmore block for reading the security announcements. And man, we got a job to do, black man. You know, we got a job to do in this earth, man. And with that, I want to say shalom, people.
Security announcements. We are the Isupkbmore out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. How? Which is the commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. In East Temple in Hebrew, and it's pronounced Mashra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Respond. People offering for priests, not mandatory whatsoever amounts you would like to give. Upcoming holy congregation. Remind Akim and Aquavium to check on social media, such as Isupkbmore.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on, for Isupkbmore events and material. If a brother wants to be a tribute to the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. One courtesy salute for the teacher men of Israel. I invite you Shabbat, I invite you Barak, so, which means turn, one salute for the sisters of Israel. I invite you Shabbat, I invite you Barak, Yahushua, Yahushua. And as a time, as dismissed.